My wife accidentally invited my high school bully to our wedding. What I discovered during his speech changed everything. I froze when I saw him walk in. Minus the man who'd made my teenage years hell was now smiling and chatting with my family while my wife whispered. I had no idea who he was when I added him to the guest list. When Charlie Hayes entered our wedding reception, I nearly dropped my champagne. The last time I'd seen him, he was shoving me into a locker while his football teammates laughed. Now here he was, confidently striding across the room in an expensive suit, heading straight toward me. James Taunce, man, he extended his hand as if we were old friends. My wife Sarah squeezed my arm. Honey, is something wrong? That's Charlie Hayes, I whispered. The guy who tormented me through high school. Sarah's face went pale. Oh my god, I had no idea he responded to our Facebook event. I thought he was just someone from your class you'd want to include. Before I could process this, Charlie was standing in front of us, grinning broadly. I shook his hand on autopilot, my mind racing with memories of bloody noses and public humiliation. Sarah, right, beautiful ceremony, he said smoothly. James always did aim high. Was that a compliment or another dig? I couldn't tell, and that uncertainty was painfully familiar. Throughout dinner, I kept glancing at Charlie's table where he was charming my cousins and college roommates. Nobody knew what he'd done. I'd never told the full story to anyone but Sarah. High school was 4 states and 15 years ago. I'd reinvented myself since then, built a successful architecture firm, found someone who loved me. Why was my heart still racing? When the DJ announced it was time for toasts, my best man Mike went first, followed by Sarah's sister. Then, inexplicably, Charlie stood up and took the microphone. I am not sure if I should be speaking, he began, but I couldn't pass up this opportunity. My stomach clenched. What humiliation was coming now in front of everyone I loved? Most of you don't know this, Charlie continued, his voice suddenly less confident, but James and I have history and not the good kind. The room went quiet. Sarah gripped my hand under the table. In high school I was, well, here is no nice way to say it. I was a complete entail to James. He looked directly at me. I bullied him relentlessly for 2 years. I made his life miserable because I was insecure and angry about my own problems. Murmurs rippled through the reception hall. My mother was staring at Charlie with narrowed eyes. I am here today because when I saw the wedding announcement, I realized I might never get another chance to do this right. Charlie's voice cracked slightly. James, I came here to apologize, not just privately but in front of everyone who matters to you. He reached into his jacket and pulled out an envelope. After high school, I got into some trouble. Part of my recovery program was making amends. I wrote you a letter 10 years ago, but I never had the courage to send it. He opened the envelope and began reading. Dear James, you don't know this, but the day after graduation, my father went to prison for fraud. Everything my family had was gone overnight. All those years I spent making you feel worthless were when I was terrified of being worthless myself. That doesn't excuse what I did, but I need you to know it was never about you. As Charlie continued reading, I saw him differently, not as the terrifying bully from my nightmares, but as another broken teenager who'd grown up and faced his demons. I've spent years ashamed of who I was back then. You deserve none of what I did, and I'll regret it for the rest of my life. I hope you built a good life despite the pain I caused. When he finished, the room was silent. Charlie looked up, his eyes red. I didn't come here expecting forgiveness. I just needed you to know how sorry I am, and that the person I was then isn't who I am now. Flate to both of you. You deserve all the happiness in the world. He handed the microphone to the DJ and turned to leave the reception. I stood up, not entirely sure what I was doing. Charlie, wait. He stopped, shoulders tense. Thank you, I said. I needed to hear that more than I realized. We didn't become best friends that night. Radio isn't that simple. But as the reception continued, something inside me felt lighter, as if a door I'd kept locked for 15 years had finally been opened. Later, Sarah admitted she'd seen Charlie's name on our class list and added him deliberately. You talk in your sleep sometimes, she said quietly. His name comes up. I thought maybe seeing him as an adult might help. That was a huge risk, I told her. She smiled. Marriage is about taking leaps of faith together. I'm still processing what happened.